Hello everyone, good to have your company again on Olsem Wanem. Tonight we highlight the increase in violence against women. These crimes continue to instill fear among women in all communities throughout the country and in the world. Here is a reminder.
After the torching of women in Mount Again last week and this latest incident, the rape on the nurse in Leh on Saturday, public anger is mounting. As the outreach continues, all eyes are on the national government to put in place long-term measures to stem the problem. On the streets of Leh, many want death penalty to be imposed on offenders.
Violence against women is an issue that needs to be addressed seriously, and serious punishment should be given to those that commit them. In a country like Papua New Guinea, the policies that have been put in place to protect women are not strong enough and lack the continued support.
So, all the day, all Marys are come along General Hospital, long Port Moresby, long Man long all, or Narpla Mary, or Sambla Line, Sambla time Tambu, or Brata long all. You know, Brata to master, so bloody time Tambu, or number 2 Mary, or girlfriend, or this like kind, also kisim bagrap long. Sambla time lo knife, Sambla time lo hand. Iron ban about man se kick him all of boot kind bagrap you miss look him long all Marys come on them or you miss call him or same domestic violence kind something or police money you know say like busy too much long help him because also talk domestic and something blow house you know something blow or police money can you can go to court or something lo place kanaga but you go to village court that's all the town not at village court too much now Tranku Mary not at road there.
Both the public and private hospitals see about 50% of violent-related cases, but most of these are from the public hospital.
We see physical injuries that's related to trauma to the head in most cases, usually facial injury. It could be injuries to the head, neck, chest. It could be broken bones in the limbs, or it could even be kicks on the abdomen causing rupture of organs such as spleen. It could cause trauma to internal organs such as the bowel or even fractures of the lower limbs or upper limbs. So it is a very sad situation that we see in PNG.
Some cultural beliefs and practices such as sorcery and polygamy play a major role in the increase of violence, followed closely by domestic violence, sexual abuse and rape.
And normally when people try to express how they feel through violence, through acts of violence, it just shows how much a lack of self-esteem that they have and how much probably intimidation they have towards women. And that's why they do what they do, they become violent.
But most cases nowadays it seems that the husbands are the ones who are the culprits. I mean this is for domestic violence we're talking about. Yeah, what do you think about?
Yeah, it's true that I think it goes back to culture. The biggest problem that Papua New Guinea is having is that we are a blessed nation, and ever since the time that we got independence, because of the way that we got independence, it's both a curse and a blessing because it created this culture of complacency. And because of the complacency that we have, many people started taking for granted a lot of the things that are happening, and the battle that we have is against perception. And this perception has been built up by the cultural norms, the cultural beliefs that we have, that stem from the kind of principles and values, and through that it became our action. And because it's become such a norm, they've numbed their conscience as like on violence against women. You know, it's not a good thing.
So do you think we should do away with some of those practices?
Yeah, definitely we should, because what it's doing is it's creating a bad image for our country, but also like the population in general. When they see that the government is not taking a stand to it, that not much action is taken towards really strengthening the laws on violence against women, then it will continue to become an epidemic, and respect for women will just continue to be the same, deteriorating.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought just for a moment I was made from your rib and not from your foot, so let me work side by side with you. I could be your mother, I could be your sister,
You're watching Olsem Wanem. We'll be back with more after the break. You're watching Olsem Wanem. Over the years, a few companies have taken the initiative to set up committees that advocate for women who have been victims of violence. The CMIC is one such organization.
We have worked with police, and there's family sexual violence units now established in some of the police stations, so women can go there. We have family support centers that are now being established in provincial hospitals. Women can go there. We work with churches and NGOs to see if refuges could be open, like Lifeline have one now, though we need to open some more. Counseling services. But what we really lack in this country is a lot more services for women in distress.
The Family and Sexual Violence Action Committee was established in 2001, and from that, a situational study carried out on gender in 1986 by Law Reform Commission established that 68% of our women get abused, and that is almost 1/3 of the PNG population. And a new study is yet to be done.
Family and Sexual Violence Committee was established following a committee, a workshop that was held at Granville, looking at PNG achievements after independence, 25th independence, I think it was. And many women present there said that they didn't have anything to celebrate because the violence against them and the children had escalated. And so a committee was formed and a study conducted and a strategy developed by Christine Bradley, which we are now implementing.
A lot of the violent activity that's happening in our country at this point in time is a fundamental basis of breakdown of the principles and moral values of families.
Alcohol is a popular excuse when it comes to domestic violence and often is a result of disagreements or arguments between couples. Violent husbands lack the basic communication skills, opting to walk off, only to come back later, drunk and verbally abusive.
Alcohol is an excuse. That's why when we talk to husbands and wives, we discourage men to get drunk when they're angry, because you're already angry when you go drinking and you come back and you pick on your wife. If you're not angry and you go drinking and you come back, you don't usually get into an argument. And people to say that, oh, sorry, I was drunk, is not really is an excuse, because you're already angry, and so you come. So that's why, if you're angry, walk away, but don't go drinking, because you'll only, come back and be very abusive.
Okay. Passing or no?
Something like you mean my schooling or picking in it. Time only lik steret. Long boy must respect him, Mary. Na Mary, I'm say one picking bro big mouse. One kind lo legally picking. You look him all, mama papa. How is I treat him all? Picking boy belong all. How is I treat him all? Picking Mary belong all. Boy, I'm just can make him anything lo house lo like belong in. Girl, yeah, I must have him talk yeah. Help him mommy, broom mouse, help him, house cook, one something. Boy, yeah, hey, I can walk him anything yeah. I am monkey yeah, let him. I'm wrong yeah. You must give him one kind strong discipline lo monkey lo boy pininin Mary pininin. No, you must got respect yeah. Now it's like kind of give him complete freedom or some like blow legally pininin boy can walk him one something. No what yeah. You mean hand can walk about place Lord pininin boy more because or pininin boy only more strong yeah. Only need him more discipline long old pininin Mary.
We'll be back with more after these short messages. The City Pharmacy Group of Companies is one organization trying to do its bit in the protection of victims of violence. In this segment, we find out how it has done that through the Mary Safe Place concept.
In 2010, Amnesty International gave an update of the CEDAW at the 46th UN Convention. That report called for greater provision of support services for women who are survivors of violence. It was found that emergency accommodation and other services for survivors of violence were almost always provided by churches and non-government agencies. In light of that occurrence, private companies recognized their role in community service. That same year, CPL was approached by Law and Justice Sector Program, Steamships Company and the Yumi Lukauti Mosby project with the concept of Mary Safe Place. CPL, who has an ongoing relationship with communities in the plight of youths, women and children and the underprivileged, embraced the concept of Mary Safe Place, introducing it to 55 CPL stores nationwide.
They approached us to be partners in the campaign, and because our stores were located already all around the country, spread out all around the country, we thought that it was a good initiative where we could use our already strategically positioned retail outlets to participate in the program. So we chose to go ahead with the.
Each store is now a temporary safe haven for women and anyone threatened by violence.
Unfortunately, we do not keep records of victims that come into our premises because of their privacy. We respect that. Okay. But we don't also have safe houses, but we only have the Mary Safe Place, which is the concept of providing a temporary safe haven or a cool-off zone but the potential perpetrator and the potential victim can both rest during the time of when they are under threat of violence.
The poor or lack of government services in PNG means that survivors of gender-based violence have not received the proper guidance and care they need the most. In its efforts to help promote their protection, CPL's partnership in the Mary Safe Place is considered a long-term concept with a prime aim to eradicate violence against women, girls and anyone in the society.
After this short break, we hear from the PNG Royal Constabulary. Stay with us. The government is expected to address women's issues in the country, and the long arm of the law takes steps to facilitate or provide avenues for efforts that trigger the eradication of social issues. The PNG Royal Constabulary, since 2007, has what is called the Family and Sexual Violence Unit in each police establishment all over the country. Here's a special report by Meredith Kusa.
In Papua New Guinea, 68% or more than 2.3 million women have experienced violence. According to a report by Health Minister Michael Malabag, 1/3 or 1.13 million were subjected to rape, and 17% of sexual abuse involved girls between the ages of 13 and 14.
What laws protect us women against these sorts of things? If they are there, or are they not tough enough? Can we tighten them up? And then can we look at the implementation of these laws? Many a time people get away with so much of this because laws are not implemented or not tough enough.
Our man must more considering Slakain all man and must enforce more law where all money making Slakain passing, or must seem good penalty long change na this penalty by giving thinking long harapla usai diga kain thinking pasal lo making.
This week, a nurse at Engau Memorial Hospital was raped, sparking outrage by her colleagues and senior management.
He's sick and tired. Me now asking the police law here. Me asking authority to go to East Taraka. It's a defined area. I'm sure they know this culprit. Arrest them. If not, I call on the housing people to evict those idiots from their house and get out of this place.
Sexual abuse is evident in the domestic household. To deal with the issue of sexual violence, the Family and Sexual Violence Unit of the Royal PNG Constabulary was established in 2006. Heading the National Capital Unit is Chief Inspector David Killer.
Because family and sexual violence and gender-based violence was not regarded as a crime in the past. Our trainings that we had gone through in the past, took family violence as a family thing, and has to be sorted out back home or with pastors and this kind of thing. But in 2007, Mr. Gary Bucky, who was the former commissioner, initiated a move through the cries of women and came up with a circular on all domestic violence, intimate partnership relationships and all marriage relationships will be treated as crime.
The rate of violence has escalated, more so because more cases are being reported. There are 2 processes to follow when obtaining protection orders.
Obtaining protection, interim protection orders, and that becomes a civil proceeding out of a crime. And that case is heard in the family courts, or can be heard in any district court too, but is treated as a civil case. And the interim protection, once it's issued, we serve it on the perpetrator or the husband. It runs for 2 weeks, 14 days. After 14 days, the husband and wife have to front up at the courthouse, and the magistrate will determine what step to take next. And most times he gives protection orders. Secondly, the wives report to the police and say, I want my partner arrested. They get arrested. And the prosecutors in the district courts, police prosecutors, apply for protection orders. And that's more quicker than waiting for 14 days.
Protection orders have a time period of 2 years. If broken, the perpetrator goes to jail for 6 months.
The different policemen approach that one, but mostly from the management view of NCD and I believe from the hierarchy of the police is that we need to address it. It's not a domestic and left at the house. Our briefing lately from Metsup and lately we've been running our briefing is that any family violence issue must be addressed. We already have 3 police units dedicated for that purpose based at Bareli, Waigani and Boroko to deal with it. Maybe we lack resources. Not enough trained personnel to deal with one, but we're addressing that one. And it's not to be kept hidden in the house, and our policemen shouldn't use the excuse to send complaints back. They should bring it up, and if our units cannot bring it to our attention, and we'll try to help.
Women have also been the target of sorcery-related killings. The recent Mount Hagen sorcery incident was one that shocked the nation and the world. Amnesty International reports that women are 6 times more likely to be victims of sorcery killings than men. The matter was brought up on the floor of Parliament by NCD Governor Poes Pakop. The United Nations condemned the killing. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Nevi Pillay called on authorities in Papua New Guinea to investigate the monstrous crime and urged it to repeal a 1971 law defining sorcery as a crime.
And that has been the program this Saturday. Just a reminder that if you have any story ideas or comments, please forward them to the addresses now showing on your screen. You can also drop a note at the front desk at MTV, 2nd floor of Garden City, Boroko. With that, have a safe weekend, and we'll see you again next time on Olsem Wanem.